What's up, guys? Welcome back to Good Game Grabs, but more importantly, welcome back to another episode of Sunday School. Sunday School is a series that drops every Sunday, and it assumes that you, the viewer, is starting to want to resell on eBay with zero prior knowledge. Week one, we talked about having the proper amount of space and time to start your eBay business, but today we're going to start talking about the third thing that is really important before starting any business, not just an eBay business, but that is startup costs. You guys, before we dive into this, I just want to say affiliate links will be down in the description for a lot of the items that I'm talking about. Yes, they are affiliate links and they do help us out with a little commission. If you guys do decide to purchase an item through one of the links, we'd really appreciate it. It supports the channel. You get all this content for free. If you'd like to give something to us back, you can do so by doing that. Thank you, guys. So, keeping in mind that some people want to start this journey on a very low budget, or they just want to sort of tiptoe their little feet into the water of reselling before they dive in and buy all the fun, expensive stuff that you can buy for reselling, we are going to talk about the absolute essentials that we need for reselling. At least in my opinion, some of these may be a little controversial for some other resellers out there. Feel free, if you are a reseller and watching this video, comment down below and let me know if you think that some of my essentials are not that essential. But we will also talk about some, more luxury items of reselling and how those fit into play if you are trying to do the more budget-minded approach. The very first thing, and this is the most important thing, is having a phone. Yes, it is 2023, and I'm assuming that most of you guys have a cell phone. The quality of a cell phone is still up for debate, whether or not you want to spring for something with a nicer camera on it, for example, better battery life, and things of that nature. However, you can list and ship and take pictures and research items all from this device if you wanted to. So I consider this the A1 absolute must need for any reseller getting into the business, is a nice, reliable cell phone with at least a decent camera, because we do want to take nice photos of our items that we do thrift, because that is going to be what people see right on the front end. However, there are people that do not use a cell phone for picture taking at all in their setups. Some people will use a digital camera, and that is completely okay. However, if you have a digital camera, you will need the next item. So some people swear by the workflow of taking pictures on a digital camera and then uploading those photos to a computer. This is obviously a laptop, but you could use a desktop PC, a Mac, whatever you guys want. But that is an option as far as listing goes, especially. Now, you can also use a computer to use the next item, and we will dive into that. This might be a little controversial, but I think this is an absolute must need. I also want to mention that you don't have to spend a lot of money on a PC or a laptop. I thrifted a laptop similar to this one from the Goodwill bins. I mean, it cost me maybe 15 bucks, 20 bucks, and it works just fine. I bought a $10 charger off eBay for it. Works absolutely great, and it controls what I needed to control for my business. The third absolute must-have, and this is what I mostly use my computer for, and that is a thermal printer. These things are lifesavers. You'll find yourself printing out labels every single day and using them to stick on packages, whether they're going UPS, FedEx, USPS, all that good stuff right here in this little workhorse. I absolutely think this is essential. Obviously, you don't have to have this. You can literally print or you can take a QR code on your phone to a USPS location and they can print the label there for you. But if you can just do it at home, it makes your life so much easier. This is going to be one of the most expensive things that you guys buy. This is about anywhere from 120 to 140 bucks, but it is worth its weight in Gold, absolute gold. Okay, items number 4, and yes, items. I mean, all of these things are just considered very low cost, so they're not exactly hard to obtain, but they are absolutely essential. I use these items every day. Let's just go through them one by one here. Of course, is a digital scale. Absolutely have to have one of these. I actually have 2. I have a small one for, of course, you know, smaller packages. I have a big one that lays on the floor for heftier packages. Even the bigger scale is still not going to be too much money. Get yourself a awesome tape gun. These things, of course, pay for themselves in gold. You'll be using these things every single day. Absolutely awesome. And of course, a pair of scissors and a Sharpie. A pair of scissors is, I use this a lot to cut down packages or modify packages or cut pieces of cardboard to put in poly bags, all that good stuff. So absolutely a good pair of scissors that, you know, stays nice and sharp. And of course, a Sharpie to write down the weights of your packages or any notes that you need to write down on your packages for whatever reason. Having a good old Sharpie. But of course, this is what I'm just talking about on the shipping side. As far as on the listing side of things, I mean, you do have to decide whether or not you're going to do clothing, if you're going to do only hard goods, if you're going to do a combination of the two. Those are all things that we will dive into more later, but most of those setups are going to cost you very little. You can utilize things around your house. If you have a really nice breakfast bar or you have a really nice set of steps outside, you can utilize those to take pictures. To give you guys an idea of what it takes to set up even just my clothing station, I mean, all this is some foam board from Lowe's and then a piece of scrap plywood on the back. And I just glued the styrofoam to the wood. I got a piece of fabric from Joann's Fabrics, I believe it was. So very, very low cost of goods into this. You could even use a different type of piece of wood behind there. You know, whatever you got would probably work. And then of course, you know, a stand that's part of a shelf that I already had laying around. You will find yourself being able to be frugal about these things. You'll be able to set up something that fits within your budget quite easily. And you guys are probably like, well, what about the lighting? The lighting is always so expensive. Studio lighting, this and that and the other. Guys, you don't need to use studio lighting. Yes, I will say lighting does make a big difference in the quality of your photos. So keep that in mind. Like, you don't exactly want to take pictures in a closet, but for example, this light right here is a clamp light. These are as little as 10 bucks. These guys right here are little key lights. These are little Amazon specials. I think these were maybe 20 bucks for the pair. So again, very affordable for lighting. You don't have to go extravagant and you can still get good pictures. So guys, we've talked about cost of shipping items. We've talked about what it takes to make a listing, to take pictures of your items and how much that costs. But I think the elephant in the room here is going to be, how much does it cost to source items and how much money should you set aside for that? Now, you guys already know, if you guys have been watching this channel, you know that I'm going to suggest the Goodwill bins for sourcing, because you pay for things by the pound or by the inch in the case of our bins, which by the inch for VHS or books. However, I understand that not everybody has access to a Goodwill bins near them or even within an hour or two drive of them. And that is unfortunate. Even still, if you were to be very picky about the items that you pick up, if you pick up quality items, if you take good pictures, make accurate descriptions, put in all the correct item specifics and all that good stuff, then you will be able to sell items quickly and for a good profit margin, even if you have to pay prices at a regular thrift store. But a regular thrift store isn't even the only place that you can source items. You've got estate sales, garage sales, church rummage sales, private picks, Facebook Marketplace, all those good stuff. Like we will absolutely talk about those more in depth. But in the next episode, we're going to talk about, you know, what it is to narrow down a good item to put on eBay, your first item that you're going to pick. And that will allow you to understand how much money you need to put in up front to make the wheels of the business start to turn. However, I will say that like, if you wanted to just look at, only media, if you only wanted to buy books from the Goodwill bins and you have access to do that, your cost of goods is going to be insanely cheap. If you want to do only clothing, if you wanted to do, let's say, only t-shirts from the Goodwill bins, your cost of goods is going to be insanely cheap. So I will say that, you could go to the bins and spend $100, $200, get all shirts, pay for it by the pound. You would have enough inventory to list 3 to 5 items a day for quite some time, as long as you knew what you were looking for. But again, we're going to go over that. We're going to talk about what items are good to pick up, regardless of the cost of goods, of what they are. So I'm going to leave up an estimated cost summary, guys, for you, and just take that as you will. I mean, there's going to be different ways that you can kind of cut corners or, decide to upgrade later down the line when you start to get some money rolling in and you feel like you can justify the price of those items. But this is just going to be roughly what it would cost if you were to start reselling today. And with that being said, guys, be sure to hit that sub button if you haven't already. Please let me know down in the comments what you've liked about the series so far. If you have any questions, be sure to hit the comment section or go to the Discord. You can sign up for our server for free and ask me, Marcus, anybody, any questions that you have. We'd really be happy to answer those for you guys. Be sure to tune into next week's episode where we talk about getting that first item, getting down to the nitty gritty about what to pick and what not to pick in your reselling journey. Can't wait to see you guys then, but we will see you later on the next grab and on the next Sunday School. Bye, guys.